morning, everyone. Uh,
Good morning,
is
sir.
Tarikulda here? Tarikulda, are you here?
Yes, yes, I'm here.
Okay, principal sir is already here, and I think we should wait for 1 or 2 minutes so that everyone can join. There was some connectivity issues. That's why many students were unable to join. So we are giving 1 or 2 minutes so that all the students can join. Our honorable speaker, uh, Dr. Jaydip Sarkar sir, are you here, sir?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Stay with us.
Okay.
Okay, Tarikulda, can we start?
Yes, should we start?
Susantu is here.
Yeah, I'm here. Okay. Am I audible? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Onindita, are you here?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
And Pragbojyoti, are you here? Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to our honorable principal, Dr. Pankaj Kumar Devnath, our invited guest, Jaydip Sarkar, Associate Professor of English, Kuchbiar BT and Evening College, my respected colleagues. So, the college program by Dr. who is one of the most renowned professors of English, not only could be, but in the entire academic area at Bengal. Dr. Shah has to his credit many valuable publications in different journals as well as from different renowned publishing companies. So he needs no introduction actually. I myself, Pallav Kumar Sarkar, Assistant Professor of English, Kuchbiar College, cordially welcome you, sir, to this session of special lecture by you. And before starting the special lecture, I would like to request our Honorable Principal, Dr. Pankaj Kumar Devnath, who always stand by us, always support us in this kind of activities and programs, to say a few words on this occasion. So, sir, I request you to say a few words.
So very good afternoon to all of you present here. So today we are here to have a special lecture which is organized by the Department of English for the students of 6th semester. And this is a part of our initiative of online classes, and our all of the departments have been organizing and will organize this type of special lectures for all the students, for honors and for also program course students. And also we are arranging different webinars by each of the departments. The intention is that to reach to the students during this pandemic situation so that they can be enriched in their, not only in syllabus but also in other academic and also co-curricular and extracurricular activities. Only the medium of interaction is through online because we have no other alternative. But this is also a very good platform to organize different academic and also co-curricular and extracurricular activities. So from my part, I would like to welcome very renowned professor of English of this region, Dr. Jaydip Sarkar, who has been teaching English since long and is very much senior, and the students will definitely be benefited by his lecture. Dr. Sarkar is very much close to me and also with the teachers, and he's always cooperative and he extends helps to our college in different activities also throughout different times. So from college, we are really grateful to you. I also like to thank Mohammad Tariqul Islam, the HOD of Department of English, Sri Pallab Kumar Sarkar, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Sri Sushanto Das, he is also an Assistant Professor of Department of English, Srimati Anindita Dotto, SACT of Department of English, and Progyajyoti Dotto also, who is also SACT of Department of English. And I also like to thank all the students who have participated here. And I only like to advise the students that please try to interact with sir. So this should not be an one-way linkage, one-way talk. So this should be a two-way linkage so that uh, you, the students, also can participate, also can ask your questions, and also can clear some doubts from Dr. Jaydip Sarkar. So thank you, all of you present here. So over to Pallav Sarkar, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for your short yet valuable speech. Uh, so, in this session, I have with me my colleagues, my departmental head, Mr. Tariqul Islam, my other colleagues, Mr. Susanto Das, Srimati Onindita Datto, and Pragyajyoti Datto. So, taking permission from all of you, I'd like to say it's really an occasion of awe as well as an occasion of joy for us to host Dr. Sarkar here in the Department of English Media College. Dr. Sarkar has delivered his speech in this department before also, and in the past we had the opportunity to hear him. Today we have again the opportunity to hear from him. So now I would like to request you, sir, to deliver your speech today. Please, sir.
Thank you, Pallab. Special thanks to our beloved principal, Dr. Pankaj Devat. Special thanks to Tariqul, Shanto, Onindita, Pragyajyoti, the entire Department of English, because the department has given me a scope to interact with the students as pandemic situation, and all of us who are working from home, we are a little bit tired without the warmth of the students. Though it's virtual, but yet, as our principal sir, Dr. Devnath has said, it must not be a one-way traffic. Let's take this opportunity to have a platform to discuss some of the issues of society, culture, and literature. I think I'm audible to all because there is a network problem throughout the day because of heavy rainfall. I think without wasting our time, we should start our discussion. And as decided with the department, I'm to share my reading of Mahasweta Devi's short story, Draupadi, as a resistant text to the students of this department whose examination is nearing, and perhaps this platform will be helpful for them, not only for understanding some of the issues of literature, culture, and society, but also in their examination, because they're facing hard times in this pandemic situation, in their pattern of examination, in universities which is blended mode type. I think this opportunity will be helpful for both of us. So I should start from a type of ideological standpoint of Mahasweta Devi before we go to the text. I'm not going into the detail of life and works of Mahasweta Devi. Perhaps you are all familiar with the things. I'm to share with you the authorial ideology of Mahasweta Devi, and I'm to share that in the author's introduction to her 1978 collection of stories, Ognigorva. That is the womb of fire. Mahasweta Devi writes, I quote, a responsible writer standing at a turning point of history, has to take a stand in defense of the would never forgive. A responsible writer, I quote again, a responsible writer standing at a turning point of history has to take a stand in defense of the exploited, otherwise history would never forgive him. This authorial ideology is no less conscious and operates through a system of radical diffusion in all of Mahasweta Devi's works. In fact, Mahasweta's stream of consciousness, rather I should say, in Mahasweta's stream of consciousness, there is no process of image building or imaginative speculation, because she is always ready to slaughter idealism in the guillotine of experience. And that experience she gathers at the expense of life. Draupadi, a short story of Mahasweta Devi, is of around 20 pages. And the story, we know, it was originally written in Bengali, and it was anthologized in the collection Breast Stories, translated into English by Gayatri Chakraborty Spivak. And the story is stripped away from the Mahabharata's grand narrative and royal attributes, and situated in Chambabhumi, a village in West Bengal. We must keep in mind that Draupadi is a well-known and much discussed character from the epic Mahabharata. One of the popular episodes from the epic in many of the Indian dance, theater, television serials, as well as cinema, has been Draupadi's public disrobing and humiliation by the brothers of her rival clan, that is the Kauravas. And this episode we know, popularly known as Vastroharan, focuses on a game of dice in which Draupadi was gambled and lost by her eldest husband Yudhishthir. And according to the story of Mahabharata, at the order of Duryodhan, the eldest son of the rival Kaurava clan, Draupadi was dragged by her hair to the court by Dushashan, who tried to pull her shari off. But because of Lord Krishna's magical powers and blessings, her shari extended to an unending piece of cloth, pulling at which ultimately tired Dushashan out. In common parlance, the act of Krishna in this episode is seen as that of the benevolent gods. Is that of the benevolent gods, merciful and timely act of saving the wife of the Pandavas. But in reality, we find that when such humiliation occurs for women, there is no Lord Krishna to save her. And we have seen that in Indian literature, many of the interpretations of this Vastroharan episode, including some powerfully feminist ones, have emerged, and so have remarkably stereotypical rather, with Draupadi as a crying and shamed wife, praying as submissive devotee to Krishna for rescue. But as I have already shared with you my opinion, perhaps all of you will agree that in real circumstances, we find the Krishnas rare. Had Krishnas been everywhere, perhaps there would have been no Nirbhaya case and some others. Now, we should locate the episode of the Mahabharata to the design of Mahasweta Devi's story. We must keep in mind that set in the politically charged climate of West Bengal in the 1970s, Mahasweta Devi's short story Draupadi focuses on a young Santhal woman, Santhali rather to be pronounced in English, but as we are Bengali, we should easily be acquainted with the term Santhal. So, Santhali woman, Draupadi Mahajan, who is a Naxalite and who, along with her husband, Dulna Majhi, their comrades, is responsible for the death of Surya Shahu, the landlord of Bakuli. The story, translated from Bengali to English by Gayatri Chakraborty Spivak, follows the efforts of the local police and army officers, led by the Senanayak, to capture Draupadi after having hunted down and killed her husband. The text, however, not only brings before the reader story of state violence, but it tells us of an unthinkable act of courage. And it is the point for which we should read Draupadi as a resistant text. How Draupadi was tortured by the state machinery that can easily be read as the act of state machinery on subalterns, on women, as well as on politically subalterns in that particular period of 1970s, that is the Naxalites, who were marginalized in the popular discourses of politics in Bengal as well as in India. But more than that portrayal of a mere act of state violence, the story can give us scope to read it as a voice of resistance. In the story, Draupadi is captured by Officer Shenanayak, who instructs the army officers to rape her, to extract information about the rebel uprising. Now, obviously, we should keep in mind as a student of literature and culture that rape is not only mere violence on woman's body. Rape is a patriarchal strategy to devalue womanhood, to devalue the honor, quote unquote, honor of a family in patriarchal caste and culture, by which many social missions can be outreached. So, Draupadi is captured by police, and the police officer instructs the army officer to rape her, to extract information about the rebel uprising. So, information is needed from a woman. How can the information be collected? Rape her, and if she is brutally tortured, then she will be compelled to provide us the needed information. That is the patriarchal belief. But ironically, the same officers who violate her body insists that she covers up once she is done with. So she is raped, and now she will be interrogated by the senior officer Shenanayak, and the police and the police persons who raped her orders her, now put on your saris and go to the interrogation room and face the interrogation interrogation by the officer. So we can better imagine that a while before she was raped, her decency were stripped off, and now she is ordered to cover up her body by wearing sari and to face the interrogation. And interchangeably, Draupadi rips off her clothes and walks toward the Shenanayak, naked, thigh and public hair of her matted with dry blood, 2 breasts, 2 wounds, as Mahasweta Devi describes her resistance. She was raped before some time. Now it is the state machinery who has ordered her to cover her body by shari and to face the interrogation, but she keeps a radical feminist protest by appearing quote unquote naked, her thigh and public hair matted with dry blood, two breasts, two wounds. And the officer who is in charge of the interrogation, Officer Shena Nayak, is indeed shocked by such a radical feminist defiance as Dobdi stands before him with her hand on her hip. As Dobdi bursts into fury, there is not a man here that I should be ashamed. The Shena Nayak finds herself bereft of language. He is too scared to speak, and for the first time, he is afraid to stand before an unarmed target. So, Dobdi's naked body scares the Shena Nayak. For the first time, he is afraid to stand. For the first time, he is afraid to stand before an unarmed target. So she is not unarmed. She is armed by her radical feminist defiance. Perhaps a woman like Dobdi Mahajan, perhaps she is not aware about the feminist theories. Perhaps she did not know what is the difference between the socialist feminist theories and the radical feminist theories. But her protest, her radical protest, gives a new dimension of feminist resistance. Mahasweta Devi is altogether a different type of feminist writers if we compare her with writers like Toni Morrison and Alice Walker. When Toni Morrison writes a text like The Color Purple, or Alice Walker writes the text like The Color Purple, or Toni Morrison, The Beloved, we find that a sort of feminist theory they want to propagate. But Mahasweta is not propagating any theory. Like Walker, Mahasweta has not coined any term like womanism or something else. Because she is a public intellectual, not only a writer. She is a social and political activist. As I have shared my reading of Mahasweta with you at the very beginning of this discussion, that Mahasweta believed that a responsible writer standing at a turning point of history must take a stand for the defense of the exploited. So the people who were exploited, be it a Naxalite man like Broti in Mother of 1084, or be it a Naxalite subaltern woman like Dobdi Mahajan in Draupadi, or be it an elite middle class Bengali woman like Sujata Chatterjee in Mother of 1084. She keeps her voices in a manner which is a spontaneous reaction. They do not act as per any concentrated socio-political theory. Draupadi in the story was named Draupadi by her mother's master Surjashahu's wife. Maybe Draupadi is the tribal version of the Sanskrit word Draupadi, and as we have discussed that the story is stripped away from the Mahabharata's grand narrative and royal attributes and situated in the Champabhumi, a village of West Bengal, and the Vastraharan of Draupadi is reconstructed in Mahasweta Devi's story, subverting the narrative where Draupadi is rescued by a man, Lord Krishna. Instead, in Mahasweta Devi's narrative, Draupadi is not rescued, yet she continues to exercise her agency. What I should convey to you, my students, Draupadi continues to exercise her agency by refusing to be a victim. By refusing to be a victim, she is raped, but she exercises her agency by refusing to be a victim, by leaving the armed Senanayak terribly afraid, though she is unarmed. She is unarmed, and Senanayak is armed. But the Senanayak is afraid before her body. So, body as an agency. Body as an agency in a feminist text. That is important. We must keep in mind that apparently the story is about a state violence, how police tortures or can torture the rebels. Who are the rebels? One who does not comply with the state-sponsored discourses, they are the rebels. The Naxalites, they were the rebels because they declared a sort of war against the not the state, rather against the mechanisms of the state. The Naxalites did never claim for a separate independent state or something like that. They rebelled against the pattern of the ruling. And as they rebelled against the sanctioned pattern, so they were treated as margins by the center, and they were brutally tortured. So the story can easily be read as a story of a state violence, but what I should share with you, my students, Mahasweta's focus is on the feminist resistance. The success of the narrative as a short story lies on this pinpointed focus of its writer. She showed how even a ripped body of a woman can empower a woman. Nowadays, we hear about women empowerment. Women empowerment to us means the political empowerment, the economical empowerment. But there must be a cultural empowerment. If there is no cultural empowerment, political and economical empowerment can never give women the equal status of a man. When we read feminist literature, we always keep in mind that sex is a biological construct, but gender is a cultural construct. So, culturally, women should be empowered. As I have shared with you, that a man rape a woman, and it is not because of physical pleasure, but it is because of showing her or her family the power of patriarchy. It is a sort of punishment which is offered by the patriarchal caste creed and culture to a woman who is disobeying. We know that in Mahabharata, Draupadi was punished because she laughed at the Kauravas, because the Kauravas were in the illusion of the Pandavas' palace of Maya. As she laughed at the men, that was her offense, and so she was punished. So laughing at the men is a punishable offense. And how was she punished? She was brought to the court by Dushashan, who pulled her hair, her shari, but there was the savior Lord Krishna, but no such savior is in our realities. Women themselves must stand as Draupadi Mahajan stand. So this is the feminist resistance. She is raped, her body is ripped off, but she does not cover up once she is done with. She appears before the Senanayak naked, thigh and public hair matted with dry blood, to breast, to wounds. This resistance is the focus of Mahasweta Devi in her short story. So this is my reading which I have to share with you, and I think we can spend 10 or 15 minutes through interaction. So I would like to request my students, if there is any confusion, please share your query or observation, and it must be a platform of discussion.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable speech. Uh, Now, I would like to ask the students that instead of hesitating, uh, you can share your idea or thoughts, or if you have any query, text Draupadi. You can interact with our honorable invitee, sir. So you can ask anything to him. If you have any query.
Sir,
First of all, introduce yourself, at least your name, and then ask.
Sir, my name is Rejaul Rahman. Sir, I
Okay.
have a question.
Yeah.
So when Draupadi was naked, she said she not clothed on dress because she's not ashamed. Sir, is that
Yeah.
indicating women should not ashamed of being rebellious against patriarchal society? As the society,
I'm not getting you. Please.
sir, sir, when Draupadi was naked, she said
Yeah.
she not clothed on dress because
Yeah.
she's not ashamed. Sir, is that indicating women should not ashamed of being rebellious against patriarchal society? As the society think of them that the women should not talk much or should ashamed of talking loudly with a man. Is that indicating?
You can read it in that fashion, but I think that we should read Draupadi's radical feminist defiance as empowering woman body, because when she is raped, when she is ripped off in a patriarchal society, it means that she is a type of fallen woman, and that is the reason for which women are raped. As I have said, that women are not raped for sexual pleasure. They are raped only because they are to be punished for some personal offenses, or their families should be punished. That I have a rivalry with one family relating to land or relating to wealth or something else. So myself or my people will rape a woman of that family, and it will dishonor the woman, dishonor the family. You will find that because there is a partition literature in your syllabus. You have read some texts. You found that during the days of partition, women belonging to opposite religion were brutally raped. Not only women belonging to opposite religion, even in some cases, women of same religion were raped, because the political turmoil give the male folk a type of opportunity to take revenge. So even after that incident, even after she is quote unquote done away with, she is done with, she is not ashamed. That means the special body becomes an active agency through which she exercises the power of female resistance. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else?
Yeah. Any other confusion or query? We must share.
Sir, I'm Paramita Roy. Sir,
Yeah.
I just want to ask you that Dulaji and Draupadi is really responsible for the death of Suraj Sahu.
Okay, please again.
Sir, Dulamaji and Draupadi is really responsible for the death of Suraj Sahu.
Yes, they are responsible because they were the Naxalites, and they revolted against the feudal system of the state, and some of the feudal lords, they were killed by the Naxalites. That is a historically acknowledged truth, and whether Draupadi and her husband are responsible or not, obviously that is not the point of the story. They have killed the feudal lord, and some information regarding the Naxalite movement is needed by the police. So the police used rape as a weapon. They rape the woman, and she will be compelled to. After the rape, she will lose her not only her physical balance, her mental balance. And after a rape, when she will be interrogated, and after that brutal torture, she will be threatened in such a manner. She will fear that if I do not reveal the truth, I may again be raped. So rape is a threat. So threatening her by the weapon rape, the police wanted to extract the secrets about the Naxalite movements. Their aim was not to give justice to Surya Sahu.
Okay. Anybody else? I think there is no more question.
And time is also about to be over.
It's no matter, sir. So it was a wonderful experience to hear you, sir.
Thank you.
And
Thank you all for giving
from
me the
your
opportunity.
no, sir, it's our pleasure to host you. And from your discussion, it has become very easy to understand how a mythical character is placed in our present day time in some different socio-political structure or situation. But one thing is very clear, that woman as a subaltern was exploited and still exploited.
And will be
That is
exploited.
and very sadly will be exploited. That is the truth that comes out from the text, and by exposing
That's
this,
why we need social regeneration.
that's very true, sir. So the writer's intention is pretty clear, is to expose the brutalities against the subaltern, here in this case against the women. And it is, of course, this text can be regarded as a revolt protest assertion of a downtrodden woman. So it was really a wonderful experience to hear you, sir, and we thank you from the Department of English to deliver your special lecture. Now, before closing this session, I would like to invite my colleague, Mr. Pragyajyoti Dotto, to deliver his vote of thanks for this special lecture. Pragya, are you there?
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, you are. Please carry on.
Good afternoon to one and all gathered here on this virtual platform. First of all, it's an honor and privilege to deliver the vote of thanks to all of them who made this special lecture a successful one. First and foremost, I convey my heartfelt gratitude to our Honorable Principal Sir, Dr. Pankaj Kumar Debnath, for not only encouraging us to conduct this special lecture, but also for his continuous support. Principal Sir has blessed us with his gracious presence, and I also thank him on behalf of the entire Department of English, Coachbehar College. I also want to express my heartfelt gratitude to the esteemed speaker, Dr. Jaydip Sarkar, for his enlightening and engaging lecture. Sir, you have tried your best possible means to explain how Mahasweta Devi's Draupadi has become a symbol of subaltern defiance. And I am sure today's special lecture has provided the students a deep insight into their understanding of the mentioned topic. I extend my gratitude to the respected head of the department, Professor Tariqul Islam, to guide us through his valuable inputs. I would also like to thank all the faculty members, Professor Pallab Kumar Sarkar, Professor Sushanto Das, and Professor Anita Datto, for their cooperation and untiring efforts to steer forward the special lecture and make it a successful one. Last but not the least, I thank all the students for their active participation in the special lecture. I once again thank everyone for making this special lecture a successful one. Thank you all.
Thank you, Pragyajyoti, and again thanking our honorable speaker, Dr. Jaydip Sarkar. We are ending our special lecture session here. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you all.